Hello, Priestess Mamas. This is Dania Foster, Priestess of Motherhood. I am a bachelor qualified naturopath and I am an energetics therapist, which means I am a Reiki master, meditation guide, and shadow worker. So today's podcast is all about um, when you are feeling stuck and you feel like you can't see any process, we need to zoom out. So, what does this mean? So, just because the work that you're doing is not visible doesn't mean it's not working. And some of your deepest healing is happening underground in the roots. So, let's delve in. So, a lot of the time, I know I have experienced this, and I've had clients that have been experiencing this, especially when you've been working at your healing journey for quite some time and you feel like you're doing everything right. You feel like you're eating all of the foods that you've been told to eat, you're taking the herbs, you are doing the nervous system rituals that I have set for your meditations, your breath work and the little rituals of nervous system healing. You're taking all the supplements, you're doing everything right, you're doing your steps, you've got all of these things happening, but you just aren't seeing the improvement. You're not seeing it happening. Um, so that moment, you're like questioning everything. You're thinking, what's wrong with me? Is my body broken? What am I not doing right? What am I getting wrong? Is this not the right path for me? Is what's going on? Why isn't this working for me? Why not me? Why is it not doing it for me? It's working for everybody else. Everybody else can do these things and it works, but why not me? So then we spiral into stages of burnout, into just self-doubt, questioning everything, and ultimately leads to anxiety and um, more stress. So let's delve into this. Your healing, it's not linear, okay? We're not going to be healing in any straight lines around here. Nature doesn't grow in straight lines, and healing doesn't happen in straight lines. Your integration process feels like there's nothing happening at all. But under the surface, in a cellular level, you're recalibrating everything. It's this sacred, slow rewiring, recalibration of self. And it needs to be, we need to give it some space to see what's actually happening. Because there's so many times that I have worked with women, and I can see this in my own patterning, that we think that nothing's actually happening, whether it's the shape of our bodies or the way that we think about ourselves or our menstrual cycle or our fatigue levels, our moodiness. We think, nothing's changed. I'm still the same. But you've been living with yourself in this intimate relationship so closely that you can't see how much you have actually evolved and shifted. So I will harp on at my clients about tracking. I will harp on about journaling and I will bring up the details from past consultations that happened 6 months ago and say, 6 months ago, you told me that you couldn't get out of bed. Your energy was like a 2, maximum 3 out of 10 across the day. And now on a standard day, your energy is an 8 out of 10, and you say that that's not good, like that's really good. We need to give that some recognition for how far you've come. Okay, we need to have a look at how much you have shifted, and sometimes we need to track things like our menstrual cycle. Have a look at what stage in your cycle you're in. Is it understandable that you're feeling like this because you're a couple of days out from menstruation? And sometimes we take a little bit of healing to be able to move through that. So checking in on where you're at, and looking at your cycles over time. So I'll always say if we're doing any sort of hormonal rebalance, that we need to give it 3 months because it takes 100 days for a new follicle in the ovary to grow, which we require to see any changes for things like progesterone quality and health, of balance of estrogen and everything like that, we need to see how it plays out with a healthy, freshly developed follicle. Because if we're gardeners, right, and we have a garden bed that hasn't been producing any flowers, and so we just keep on, trying to make this garden bed produce flowers, and that could be a metaphor for ovulation, say, but it hasn't been growing any flowers. And then all of a sudden, we start coming along and fertilizing the soil. We start watering it, and then we start planting some more seeds. So, this is us giving our body the supplementation or the nourishment, the food, the rhythms that are going to be supporting that environment to grow. And then we plant the seeds and we wait for those new seeds to grow. The old flowers, the old plants, they might start flowering, but their flowers aren't going to be as bright and as healthy as the seed that was receiving that nourishment from the very beginning. That seed that's been begun the process to grow in a rich, fertilized soil with all of the nourishment that it needs from its initiation, and grows up through that strength, provided with everything that it needs to thrive in that environment. And then that bloom is going to be so much different to the bloom of the old plant that is now just blooming from receiving some of that benefits of nourishment and water. So we can see that when we zoom out and give it 3 months, a whole 100 days of growth for those follicles, we can see the change in the menstrual cycle across that time. We can see that the bleeds aren't as heavy or as clotty. We can see that there's not actually as much pain in those cramps. We can see that there isn't the premenstrual tension or the anger, the rage, and the stress that was happening leading up to cycles, the headaches, things like that. The symptoms, they shift. And if we zoom out and have a look at over a 3 month span, we can see how much things have actually changed by tracking and journaling and paying attention and listening to our bodies. So we are seeding the underground and we are nourishing that, and we have to give that seed time to grow. And the same thing happens when we are in our parenting phase, when we're looking at, I know that this happens like when we think about our kids and our kids' behavior and different things like that, raising neurodiverse kids, everything like that, homeschooling, all of these things are things that have come up within myself and within clients that I've had that say, like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough for them. And I ask you, zoom out, have a think about how this child is in their own confidence of self, how they're growing and how they're shifting their view of the world and of themselves. And this is big picture work. Some people get some anxiety around working with big pictures, just like some people get anxiety around working with the tiny details. Everybody's different. So it's not wrong if you do feel either of those ways. But just getting to know what it is that works best for you is important. But if you are stuck on the tiny details and seeing that you can't see any shift of change or differences, then we do need to have a look at the bigger picture and zoom out. And that's something that I find important when, especially raising my kids, doing homeschooling, is what type of people are they? And I know that they're good people, and we're growing and raising beautiful humans, and we are doing beautiful work within ourselves as well in our own healing processes. It's all connected. And if we can just take that big step back and have a look at the overall path we're on, are we in alignment with our values? Are we in alignment with the life that we're wanting to live? Are you closer to that than you were 6 months ago? And if you're here listening to me, then I can guarantee you that you are doing the work just by listening and opening up to different ideas is really something that is encouraging for you to know that you're moving in the right direction. And that's the big picture view, zooming out. So we're not expecting things to happen fast. And we know that when we're working with natural cycles, when we're working with natural rhythms, everything is going to happen really gradually. We're not expecting really fast overnight shifts like we do get with working with pharmaceuticals, say. For different things, whether it's weight loss, whether it's mental health, we're not suppressing anything here. We are guiding our body to activate our innate healing responses and shift our body to recalibrate and learn how to process optimally for so many different things, whether that's gut health, whether that is our neurotransmitter balance for our brain chemistry when it comes to things like mood, mental health, anxiety, fatigue, cellular energy. All of these things, we're teaching our body how to integrate and how to use that cellular energy and listen to the messengers. Okay. So please just allow seasons for your body to shift. Moving through a season, look at this season compared to last season. No, this is why I love working with seasonal energy. And I'm really passionate about using the shifts in time to be able to have a look at where we're at, review your values, review your goals on a seasonal basis, not a weekly basis, because we get bogged into the details when we look at it every day. Yes, align with it every day, but don't review yourself every day. I review on a seasonal basis, or if you have to, a new moon basis. So that's every 28 days. But checking and that's a really good way to do like your menstrual cycles and things on a moon cycle type basis, and then your big picture goals on a seasonal basis, and then daily you're just moving towards it. Am I aligning? Am I aligning? Am I aligning? Not beating yourself up if you haven't aligned, but just keep moving towards that alignment every day. So this is moving away from that illusion of stagnation. We get these illusionments that we're stuck, but we're not really. Because if you take a look back, if you chat with a friend who hasn't seen you in 6 months or a year, then they're going to be like, whoa, you have, changed so much. You're so much more vibrant than you were. You're doing so many things. Well, you have had that cognitive dissonance where you've ignored all of the positive shifts and you're still focusing on the things that you're so focused on wanting to change. And yes, you may still have that 8 out of 10 energy. You want that 10 out of 10. I get it. But you're not a 2 anymore. You're not a 3 anymore. You're an 8 out of 10 for energy. Like you're doing fantastic. And you're raising 3 kids. Like, whoa, look at you go. So yeah, you need to really take that step back and say, oh, I have actually come so far. Allow yourself that time to celebrate yourself because we never do that. I can tell you that we don't allow ourselves enough time to celebrate our wins, congratulate ourselves, and sit with that power of change, the power of shift. Okay. And allow yourself that integration time. Okay. Allowing yourself softness. There was a saying that came through for me the other day was that how about instead of trying harder, we try softer. I was beating myself up because I missed 2 gym workouts in a row because we had a very busy week. And I was beating myself up about it. But something that dropped in for me was how about instead of trying harder, you try softer. So it helped me to drop my expectations of doing a very long-winded, intense plan. And when I even set my plan, I wove this into my plan. I said, and because I know myself so well, please give me like a short, low impact day for the days when I don't have time, I don't have capacity, I'm in pain, got chronic illness, things going on that I can't do my full workout. And I set myself a small, short, low impact workout that can help me move through when I'm in low capacity. Because when I set my plan, I knew myself. And then when I was in the plan, I completely ignored that. And I was beating myself up because I hadn't done the long one that I really, really wanted to do, but I didn't have time to. And I could have just shifted and been like, well, zoom out. We've got a bit of things happening at the moment, and you can just shift into this smaller, low impact day. It's available for you. It's on the plans. It's right there. It's already done. But just allowing ourselves that grace of softness is what helps us to shift into that. And it helps us to have the momentum to keep going without dropping off completely and say, oh, well, that all or nothing is like, well, I didn't do it. So I guess we have to just go back to square one now. Well, no, like we can just keep moving in softness. We don't have to move, try harder, try harder, try harder all the time. We can go, try softer, keep trying, but just shift into softness, shift back a gear, and you can keep going in that way. So when you zoom out and you start shifting into reviewing yourself and your goals in seasons, not days, not like getting stuck into the hustle culture of 21-day detoxes and doing all these like 7-day challenges and all of these things, like just allowing yourself to keep moving forward towards your goals, aligned with your path daily, and keep moving forward. Some days we go harder. Maybe you're in your follicular phase, your ovulation phase, and you can go harder, go harder, go harder. But maybe you're slipping into your luteal phase, and sometimes things, your capacity gets less. And so you might want to go softer. Keep going, just go softer. Okay. And when we go softer, that involves not taking or beating yourself up for not being harder. Okay. Um, this is releasing or breaking out of those cycles of survival and moving into nourishment. And you are supporting yourself to keep going, keep on heading in the direction that you want to be. We don't have to go hard all the time. Okay. Some practical anchor points to help get you through and help you reconnect is that tracking. Okay, I'm talking about daily journal prompts. So your daily journal prompts are things where I even get my kids to do this as our morning pages. So we write down the day, the date, we write down the moon cycle so we can connect with, oh, it's a new moon. This is energetically needing to release, start again. We write down the moon cycle. We write down where the sun is. What sun sign are we in? I write down the day in my cycle that I'm in. Okay. I write down my daily intention. I write down my affirmations of what I need to embody for that day. I write down my manifestation statements of what I'm moving towards and the life that I see myself living in, my favorite version of me. What I want, allowing myself to want and desire. And you don't have to write as much as that. You can just write down the day. You can write down your menstrual cycle, day of your cycle. You could write down just one feeling that you have within your body, but just paying attention to yourself on a daily basis and just checking in. It's a check-in, really. It's all it is. Just checking in on your emotional shifts every day allows you to pay attention. Okay. Have a look at how you're responding to stress now versus 6 months ago. Have a look at how things were in this season last year. Have a look at how things were when you would be under pressure or you'd be in a stressful scenario like this or an emotional scenario. How did your body cope? How are you getting as sick, like getting illnesses, colds, flus as often as you used to? Or is your body finding more resilience? All of these things add up. So just ask, how are you showing up for yourself differently? Even subtly, how are you showing up differently to how you were in the past? So your progress is presence. Your progress is softness. Your progress is choosing to rest before you collapse, but your progress is just to keep moving, just even softly, just keep moving. So you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. You are sending energy into your roots. You are focusing on what counts. You are teaching your body how to respond and how to create the right pathways and optimize systems. And this is going to be the long road. This is going to be building that old woman body for strength. Okay, we're not looking for short-term gains here. We're looking for long-term shifts of optimizing your body, your emotions, your energetics, passing this on down your line, teaching your children through rhythms and rituals and patterns in your daily lifestyle practices is making the big picture shift. Okay, so if you want to learn more about how to measure your worth through long-term goal setting, value aligning, and leading your family through holistic health in these ways that are really nourishing and strengthening on a holistic level, I invite you to reach out, send me a message. You can add a comment on this podcast. You can comment on my Instagram posts. You can send me a DM on Instagram. You can send me an email. You can jump onto my website and book a connection call. If you just want to chat to me about how you think I might be able to help you, ask me questions, pick my brain, I invite you into my space to come and have a chat with me and see how I can support you. Okay. Lots of love to you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk soon.